Respected chairperson, invitees from far and wide of the dais and on the dais, dear participants and my students. In today's seminar, let me speak on what is educational psychology. Friends, educational psychology is a kind of study that deals with spiritual psychic vision and the perennial philosophy of human kind and reflected in modern educational systems. It enables one to mobilize the thought process democratically. It uplifts the human mind by satisfying the curiosity of the brain, and one's aspiration and thought process are rightly initiated through this psychology. So friends, it is based on observational study needed for all-round development of the humankind. Theosophically speaking, it postulates a threefold fields which one needs to develop the personality. Hence, we can say it is a kind of personality building study, and its theosophical values consist of spirit, soul and body. So friends, educational psychology is again a study of future, past and so on, because by considering the past record of a person in the present time, the future course of action is decided. It takes into account subjective latent, undeveloped power and is concerned with senses and organs of a humankind. It perceives both objective and philosophical intent. It is closely associated with soul, mind or psyche. Present movement action is more important in this field than any other thing or element here. It is a kind of sense field between two poles of spirit and body. Again, this field of study deals with clairvoyance because one can see the future through this clairvoyance by the intuition. Truly speaking, it is a study of mind which consists of both subjective and objective. So friends, this psychology nurtures the mind to learn continuously to look inward, because only through inward looking one can perceive spiritual truth which helps for the right growth of education. This inward looking is the subjective part of the educational psychology, but at the same time its objective part deals with outward looking phenomena to master the material aspects of life. So friends, initially this field of study had a good starting point in the philosophical senses inherited from the animal kingdom, but later on its spiritual vision came into existence only when the individual turns seriously towards religion and attempted to understand the meaning of life. Hence, in course of time, the complete study of this educational psychology turned into a mixed one, consisted of both philosophical and spiritual aspects. So friends, this educational psychology deals with many things. Sensory perception plays a vital role in educational psychology because sensory perception initiates spiritual enlightenment. Without spiritual vision, educational psychology has no meaning. Both sensory perception and spiritual vision, when combined together, one enters into the practical field of life. This practical knowledge is a key point to educational psychology because only through practical knowledge the psyche or mind perceives something. It is represented by psychiasm, or in modern terminology, extrasensory perception. So, spiritual illumination is another key feature of educational psychology. It comes in the form of an occasional flash of insight or inspiration. Hence, we must consider both spiritual vision and extrasensory perception while dealing with this educational psychology. Again, this educational psychology deals with the extension of philosophical sensation too, because through physical sensation only one can distinct clearly any type of confusion resulting due to mental vision or variation, and channelize the energy particles into directions through the clairvoyance. One must see and understand the nature of perception in educational psychology. So friends, it is good for the humankind because through the nature of perception one's future course of action is determined. Without predetermination, educational psychology does not become fruitful because it is a study of foreseeing science. One's intuition plays a key role in this field, and hence mental assessment must be accurate while cultivating educational psychology. One's perceiving ability must not go wrong both physical and mental level, and in this educational psychology, so one can apply both induction and deduction method by this educational psychology. Educational psychology sorts out many physical and mental difficulties of a child through perception, vision, and judgment. This study needs no court of law, no account of witnesses, and no evidences. It is inevitable in the physical level and comes true through honesty only. It never allows its shape, color, design, texture at every moment. It treats a child silently but seriously until the result comes out of with positive effect, because negativity in educational psychology means total failure of one's mission. Hence, a successful educational psychologist has no option but obtain reliable and steady psychic vision. One's own psychological makeup plays a vital role in educational psychology because it helps to realize different physical and mental difficulties. So, this is a process where a child is brought up in scientific way. One's personal factor and margin of error enhances the psychic vision to look into the child's psychology. This field is more or less a field of mute expression through clairvoyance. It is projected with fresh piece of assignment, training, etc. Temperament of a person hardly matters here. Temperament of a person hardly matters here. Reactive or negative clairvoyance does not act effectively in educational psychology because it is associated with solar plexus, sympathy and mechanical perception. People having these qualities depend upon conditions that suit their personality, but educational psychologists cannot act effectively under this situation. Here, no personal demand has a valid effect. Here, one must be extremely sensitive to the need of the child and should go for the objective analysis only. So friends, educational psychologist considers feeling of the child and which is very often easily hurt. Hence, they take it very seriously with their own sensitivity while dealing with the psychology of a child. Hence, this study is the precursor at sometimes or in the history of individual which follows after. It is the road to a more positive and objective form of clairvoyance. It is the censorship of the clear waking mind. So friends, it produces sometimes some silent and slight degree of semi-truth. Another mechanism of educational psychology is connected with the cerebrospinal system. Under this system, one learns art of capacity management by winning the integration of a child. Here, special condition of the child is taken into consideration. This art is noiseless and goes without movement. So, this is a kind of self-consciousness maker rather than anything else. So friends, educational psychology goes with psychic sensitivity. So, one must not go with confusion because confusion and psychic sensitivity cannot go together. Sometimes child's appearance and nature influence educational psychology because these two factors help for accurate judgment of a child. Once trained command activities, sensitive perception of a child in educational psychology. Many of the more difficult problems of a child can either be avoided or solved positively and intelligently with the help of educational psychology. A child comes back with mature and powerful mental and emotional equipment with the help of educational psychology. One realizes through more sensitive approach to educational psychology. Once psychic perceptivity becomes powerful through this field of study, one can differentiate between potential system and the child's receiving end. So, this educational psychology deals the child very carefully. So friends, educational psychology can be applied for a civilized community child as well as a unpolished rural child. So, trends and deep perception enhances the value of the study. This study is too applied to the field of politics, religion and sociology or society. One's perceptive quality can deal with every situation in educational psychology. We could put our consciousness into other person through right application of educational psychology. Ideas and expressions go in right direction if educational psychology is honestly applied for a child. We should be able to discover all our problems for their solution through this study, and it always differentiates between union and class. Hence, children must follow their trainer to cultivate this field of study. Trainer must not be confused while imparting this education to the child. They should communicate their knowledge with clear vision to a child. So friends, this is more or less a study of human. It can neither be communicated in the form of word nor conveyed through books. It needs right expression, right attitude towards life, spiritual vision, cleverness and exchange form of silent communication and recognition. It is a study of experience and experiment. The trainer and the trainee are unified together through this study. Hence, we can say it is a study of wholeness. Argument, logic, deduction do not have any place in this field. It needs devotion but not diversion. It needs program but not promotion, because here program follows promotion. It has no ethic, no logic, but has deep spiritual insight. Here one's personality is more important than any kind of theoretical knowledge. Let's experience and examine it once. Thank you.